Have you ever stopped to think about who really sets the rules of the world, who creates the values we follow, and establishes what is right and wrong? Friedrich Nietzsche warns us, the world is not guided by the strong, but by the weak. They are the ones who impose norms, beliefs, and moralities that restrict the power of those who truly possess creative and vital energy. From an early age, we learn to obey, follow standards, and repress our most authentic impulses. We are told that we should be humble, altruistic, and resigned. But did these values emerge naturally, or were they created as a strategy to contain those with true strength? Nietzsche teaches us that there is a constant struggle between two types of forces: the active forces, which create, innovate, and express power; the reactive forces, which limit, control, and impose restrictions. Traditional morality and social structures are not natural expressions of life, but rather instruments of containment. These are ways to ensure that the most powerful individuals do not break the established rules. But do we need to continue accepting this game? Or we can break with this morality of the weak and recover our true vital power. Nietzsche teaches us to see this reality, and more importantly, how can we free ourselves from it? If we look carefully, we will realize that the world was not structured to favor the full expression of life. On the contrary, society was shaped to contain those who possess energy, creativity, and vital potency. Nietzsche identifies a fundamental battle in the construction of reality: the struggle between active forces and reactive forces. Active forces are those that drive life forward. They are like the flame of a fire, always in motion, always seeking to expand and create. They are the forces that motivate us to seek new challenges, explore the unknown, and continually improve. When we have a new idea, an inspiring vision, or a desire to grow, we are being moved by these active forces. They push us to action, challenge us to break the limits of what we believe is possible, and help us transform our reality. They are at the heart of innovation and progress. On the other hand, reactive forces are like a resistance force. They do not create anything new, but only act to contain what already exists. They arise when we feel fear, insecurity, or doubt, when society imposes limitations on us, or when our own thought patterns restrict us. Instead of propelling life forward, reactive forces keep us stuck in the past or in old habits that prevent us from evolving. They are like invisible walls that surround us, creating barriers that hinder our ability to act, to be authentic, or to achieve our goals. Reactive forces make us look inward with fear and hesitation instead of outward with curiosity and confidence. It's when our energy is wasted on resisting what could be instead of flowing to create what could be. Traditional morality, religions, and even political systems like democracy were built on reactive values, ensuring that the forts remain under control. For example, Christian morality teaches sacrifice and humility, condemning the pursuit of power and pleasure. The idea of a transcendent world, be it paradise, final destination, or future utopia, serves to divert attention from the present and prevent people from taking ownership of their existence now. Egalitarian systems promote the submission of individuality, ensuring that no one deviates from the average or threatens the established order. But Nietzsche shows us that there is an alternative. Reject imposed values, break the bonds of the morality of the weak, and create our own values, guided by will to power, the essential impulse of life that leads us to grow, conquer, and affirm our existence with intensity. This is the key to an authentic life. But how to break away from this oppressive structure and regain our true inner strength? If the world has been shaped to restrict our power, the essential question is, how can we free ourselves from this? Nietzsche gives us clues to break with this morality of the weak and recover the active force of existence. Step 1. Recognize where reactive forces are dominating your life. The first step towards liberation is realize when we are living reactively. We often follow rules, values, and beliefs that we did not consciously choose, but that were imposed on us. Nietzsche teaches us that the nihilism, it is not just the lack of beliefs, but the denial of life in the name of an unattainable ideal. Whenever we sacrifice our power in the name of something abstract, be it a religious moral, political ideology, or a social standard, we are being dominated by reactive forces. Step 2. Abandon the illusion of transcendence. One of the main traps created by the weak is the promise of a better world in the future. It could be religious paradise, political utopia, or any system that convinces us to hope for a future redemption rather than act in the present. This illusion only serves to keep people submissive, always waiting for a reward that never arrives. Freeing yourself from transcendence means stopping waiting and starting to affirm life now. Step 3. Create your own values. Traditional morality teaches us to be humble, submissive, and to repress our impulses. But Nietzsche warns us, these values are not virtues. They are strategies used by the weak to control the strong. To free yourself, it is necessary to perform what he calls transvaluation of values, a break with imposed morality and the creation of new rules based on what strengthens our existence. What really makes me stronger? What makes me feel powerful? These are the questions that should guide the construction of your own values. Step 4. Live actively and non-reactively. The big difference between the weak and the strong is how they live their lives. The weak live reactively, just responding to what others do. They criticize, judge, complain, and envy, but they never create anything for themselves. The strong live actively, expressing your will without fear, creating, innovating, and taking ownership of your existence. An artist who produces authentic work is active. A critic who only points out defects in the work of others is reactive. The same goes for any area of life. Step 5. Reaffirm the will to power daily. From an early age, we are conditioned to obey, to fear our own strength, and to seek external approval. Breaking away from this is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. Nietzsche teaches us that repetition shapes our reality. If every day we reinforce our power and our own convictions, little by little we free ourselves from the influence of reactive forces. Affirming yourself daily as the creator of your own existence is the only way to live in an authentic and powerful way. Nietzsche shows us that the world is not neutral. Most people have been conditioned to be weak, living reactively, and accepting values that deny life. Nietzsche's mentality about reactive people is false morality about equality. Nietzsche says, "You preachers of equality, the tyrant's madness of impotence cries thus out of you for equality. Your secret tyrant's cravings mask themselves thus in your words of virtue. But now, you know there is a way out. True freedom is not given, it is earned. The world does not belong to those who wait, but to those who act. The reactive forces won because they learned to organize themselves and create systems of power. Morals, religion, democracy, science, all these structures serve to contain vital impulses and impose limits on those that could expand their power. But the victory of the reactive forces is not definitive. There are still spaces where active forces resist, and the greatest of them is human life itself, when lived with intensity, without fear, and without submission. Those who have the courage to free themselves from the chains imposed by society are the only ones capable of living with authenticity and intensity. In the end, life always belongs to the strong, and the choice to become one of them is in your hands. If you liked the video, subscribe to receive more videos about psychology, psychoanalysis, and philosophy. Until next time.